Hello Year 10 and welcome to the creating of the Nim game. Now up to this point you will have gone and had some experience with Python. You'll have looked at some exercises in the PowerPoint file and you will have been doing a little bit of research about how the Nim game works in your workbook. Now you've come to this point where you're going to create a basic version of the Nim game, and then from there you'll have the opportunity to add a degree of complexity to it. But we're going to start off with something quite straightforward. Now before we get into the coding, I will show you how it's going to work. So you are the user and you are taking on the computer, and you will be the person who decides how many coins you're going to play with. So let's start off with 20 coins. Now when we press enter, the computer will produce 20 asterisks and will ask us to have a turn. Now we can either put in 1, 2 or 3. So we're going to take either 1 coin out or 2 or 3 coins. If I put in anything other than a 1, 2 or 3, let's say I do a 4, then the computer is going to basically say no, you're not allowed to do that. You have to do 1, 2 or 3. So we're going to put in 3 and we're going to press return, and you're going to see first of all that 3 have been taken out, so we've now got 17 asterisks showing. We're now passing it over to the computer, who gives the impression that it's thinking, and the computer is going to take away 2 more, so we're left with 15. The object of the game is not to be the last person to take the coins away. So I'm going to go with another 3, and the computer thinks and it says it's taking away another 2, and we're going down here quite quickly. I think we're on 10, so I'll take away 2 and the computer's going to take away 2, so we're left with 6. So I'll go with 1, and the computer's thinking, and I'm going to take away 2 because that's going to force the computer to with the last 1, and the computer loses. So we've played a simple game of Nim. So with that being done, let's just see how we're going to play this game. So you can see that it's the first version. You can see that the player is the one who chooses the pile size, and there's no limit on the size of that pile of coins. The computer is going to make its own choice of 1, 2 or 3 coins. We can make that choice as well, but we cannot go above 3. There's no real artificial intelligence going on here. The computer is just going to follow a simple procedure. You could see that there was a thinking time made by the computer. That's where that time delay is going in. So these are some of the things to look out for as we start to build our Nim game. Now, in order to start to build this game, we're going to need to bring in some extra tools into Python. So we do that by going import, and we're going to import a couple of libraries, a couple of classes. That's the time class and the random class. And what that means is that certain instructions are going to be available to us in order to write instructions regarding time and random. The random is going to be where the computer decides whether to give 1, 2 or 3 coins. So now that we've gone and put that in, we've put start with an asterisk, because an asterisk denotes that we're going to be putting in a comment. Just like up here, the computer doesn't read any of this, and this is in this color at the moment because it's looking for coding which is going to relate to this. So this will change color shortly. But here with this asterisk, we're going to say this is where the game starts. So the game starts here. And it starts by asking the user how many coins do you want? So in order to do that, we're going to put this word called piles, because we want a pile of coins, and that's going to be a variable. Now we're looking for a number, so we need to put in the word int, and we're going to put in the word input. So whatever the input is, it's going to be turned into a number. We need to ask a question like, how many coins in the pile to start with? Would be a good start. And have a gap so when we do get the input, it's not right next to the question mark. So there's our instruction, and we're going to put in something else now, and you'll see why we do this later on. But we want to have a variable called win, and we're going to set it to false. Okay, so essentially if we win, then that's going to become true, and that will change this. So at the moment, essentially, we are saying that the computer is going to win, but that could certainly change. Now we're putting in a list because we need to contain these numbers. So the list is going to be called choices, and we show a list of numbers, and essentially it's just a variable. That's all a list is, but it contains more than one piece of data. And we're going to be putting in either 1 or 2 or 3. Underneath that, we're going to be talking about a function, because what we want is this function called print asterisk, and we're going to be sending in a parameter of the number of asterisks we want. So we have this thing called print asterisk, that's the name of the function, and we're going to be putting in how many, we're going to be putting in this number, which is called pile, and in this function we're going to turn this number into asterisks. So let's go and do that part. So this is a function, and with a function we normally put these at the top. So here we go. Again, it's really important to make sure that you put lots of comments in, so once you have completed your program, you'll know what the instructions or the procedures are doing, and other people will be able to understand it as well. So do lots of comments. So here we go. We're going to put function to print coins, and we're underneath. This is how we write a function. We say def print underscore asterisk in brackets the letter n, and it's important to make sure that you have a colon on the outside. So what have we got here? You can see that we've got two different things here. We've got pile and we've got n. It doesn't matter the names being different. We are still passing the same value. So this value is exactly the same as n, and it just helps it to be easier to read. So how do we turn this number into asterisks? Well, we put in a 4. 4 count in range of n. So for each one, going from 1 to whatever it is, I want you to go print. What are we going to print? We're going to print, it's a string, so we put in speech marks and we put in an asterisk, and then we don't want these asterisks to be going vertical, we want them to go horizontal. So we put in a comma, and we're going to put in end equals apostrophe, and we've got 2 apostrophes there, and we want to finish that by doing print. and that will complete. So that's how you would write that. So let's just give that a go so we can see how that works. So I'm going to go run, and we want this to be version 1. And how many coins do we want? Well, let's do something which is easy to read. We're going to go 5 and press enter. And there we see our 5 asterisks. So go and get to that point and then have a look at the next video, and we'll move on a little bit further. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.